Good morning, guys. So I got a few comments of people asking me if I can show seed saving in a video. I know I showed it in a quick version in a video and I talked about it, but for those of you that are visual learners, we're gonna go out here because I have been saving these Suyo long cucumbers out here, and they have turned yellow, and so they are ready to pick to be harvested for seeds. So they are right here. I actually left 4 of them on the vine. 2 of them have already turned yellow, so I'm going to pick these 2 and we're going to go over seed saving. So the first tip that I will have for you is when you are trying to save seeds from cucumbers, they need to be turned completely yellow before you save seeds from them. That means that the seeds will be at the biggest and the ripest for you to be able to save seeds for next year. Things like peppers, like if you have a bell pepper and it's supposed to be a green bell pepper or something like that, you want to actually wait until the pepper turns red. It will turn from green, yellow, red. Red means that the seeds will be the most viable for you to plant next year. So right here I have banana peppers and they're yellow, but if I left them here, they'll turn and then I could save seeds from them. So this is what I'm talking about. So I have bell peppers right here, and this one has turned orange. If I left it here a little longer, it would turn red, and that is when I would want to save seeds from it. When you're looking at something like beans, you want to leave them on the plant until they completely dry, and then you can open it and save seeds from it. So this is a red noodle bean, and it is completely dry. And we can open it right here and I will show you. So there you go. You open it and then just drop that. There's actually going to be seeds inside. You can actually feel them. There's seeds all along here, and then that's when you want to save the seeds from this. See, there's another one right here. Okay, so this is a zinnia. If you wanted to save seeds from a zinnia, you would wait till the flower flowers and then it gets dry and crispy. Then the seeds will be in the middle. Okay, so right here, when I open it, seeds already start falling out. This is zinnia seeds. Oops. So right here, I have a melon. It looks like it has a hole somewhere right there. And so what I've been doing with these is just cutting them open and then scraping the seeds out of them and using them. When I've been saving seeds from things like cantaloupes that could have some of that texture, the mushy inside with it, I've sat it in water just to wash away all of that stuff for a couple days, and then drain it in a strainer and then put the seeds out on a napkin. I'll show you that when we go inside. Things like squash right here, like I'm leaving this one on the plant to save seeds from it. You just want to wait till it gets as big as possible. You know you have missed those zucchinis and squash in your garden that turns into like little babies. That's the perfect one that you want to save seeds from. So all of these basils right now, you see these are flower seeds. When they continue to dry up, actually I might see some down here. They'll continue to dry up and then they'll produce seed pods, and then the basil seeds will be inside of the dried flowers. If you want to save seeds from things like sunflowers, you would wait until they dry up, look crazy. They start forming seeds. You can see in the inside right there, but you still want to wait because all of these flowers need to fall off and dry. So then all of this falls off, and then you can see the seeds down in there in the inside. And if you leave your sunflowers too long, so right in here, it's starting to form sunflower seeds already. You can actually see right there. If you leave your sunflowers dying too long when it's ready, what I've had happen in the past is birds come and then or squirrels, and they start just eating the sunflower seeds. So now that we've talked about different seeds and how to look for them, I have these 2 cucumbers. Cucumbers and tomatoes, their seeds are in the inside, and they actually have like a gel around them, and in order to get the gel from around the seeds, you need to ferment them, and that's what I'm going to show you. So this is what I was talking about. Yesterday I had a Cottageville melon and I took the seeds out, and some of the seeds were still a little, had some pulp from the Cottageville melon, like you see right there. And instead of like rinsing them off, I just sat them in this water. And then now I'm going to strain them. So once I've strained them and rinsed them off, I just sit them on a napkin in a single layer, and I use a permanent marker to write what this is. So in this case, this is a Cottageville melon, and I'm going to move them every so often until they completely dry. You want to make sure these seeds are completely dry before you store them, or they will form mold. So right here, these are dry seeds that I did a few days ago, and you can feel them, they are completely dry. This one is from a midget cantaloupe. I had a regular cantaloupe here, and then down here I had a Roma tomato. So now I'm going to show you how I do the fermentation process on things like cucumbers and tomatoes, things that have the jelly in the inside. So I cut down the middle, a seed already popped out, but all of these seeds are way bigger than the full maturity. You wouldn't want to eat this. So you see how those seeds are really big. Okay, so now we're going to scrape all of these seeds out. So once I have all of the seeds scraped out, I just go through and try to take out the big clumps of pulp before I add this to a jar of water. So you can see how the cucumbers are usually stored at the inside. Like this is a perfect example. So I just push them out, so I'm not saving this big pulp piece. Some pulp is fine because it will float at the top. Once it ferments, the pulp will float at the top, as well as seeds that are not good, and then the seeds that are good will be at the bottom. But I just try to help it out a little bit. Okay, now I'm just going to take the seeds, add them to this cup, and I like to use my white chalk board marker to write on this little cup to say what's inside of it, because I've been saving a lot of different seeds, and sometimes the seeds all look alike if they're from different varieties of cucumbers. So I'm going to write, this is the same cup that I had the Cottageville melon in, and you see I'm just going to erase that and now write Suyo long cucumber after I do the same thing for this cucumber. Okay, so now I have the seeds in here with warm water, and every day I'm just going to stir it with a spoon or your finger, doesn't matter, just to try to agitate the gel to remove the seeds. And after 3 days, the good seeds should be not encased in this jelly anymore. They should float to or drop to the bottom, and then all of the pulp, as you can see right here, just comes to the top, as well as any seeds that are not good would float to the top as well, and then you would just separate them. After the 3 days is done, you strain it, and then you put it on the napkin like I showed you what I did with that Cottageville melon, and then I let it completely dry. Like every couple hours or every time I walk in my kitchen and I see it laid out there, I just kind of move it around to just make sure that it is getting even airflow and that it dries completely. Once it's dry completely, then I take it and put it in a Ziploc bag or a seed saving bag and write the name on it. And if it's been sitting next to another plant, like if that Cottageville melon was sitting next to another cantaloupe or something that it could have possibly got cross-pollinated with, because I didn't hold that seed or that flower, like I didn't make sure that it was not cross-pollinated, then I would just write question mark or not, you know, secure or maybe or something like that, just telling me that I wouldn't share those seeds with someone saying that they were 100% Kajari melons, because Kajari melons could cross with another melon or even a cucumber, which I did have one year. A cucumber and a watermelon cross-pollinated. I didn't plant the seeds or save the seeds. They saved themselves, replanted. They started growing, looked like watermelon vines, and it was looking like a watermelon, but a lighter color green. And when I harvested it, in the inside was a complete cucumber, and it smelled like cucumber. So they can definitely cross-pollinate. This Kajari melon that I had was not sitting next to a cucumber. It was sitting next to another cantaloupe, so there is a possibility that it could cross with that cantaloupe. But for me, I don't mind about that. And I know that, but I wouldn't share it with somebody else saying, hey, this is a Kajari melon, and then they get it, and then it's like a Kajari cantaloupe hybrid. My Suyo long cucumber was not sitting next to any other cucumbers. It was by itself. So I am saving seeds pretty confidently, thinking that when I grow those next year, that it would be a Suyo long cucumber. The same way that I just showed you in saving seeds for that cucumber is the same way you would do it for tomatoes. So like I said, you would want to wait till it's at its fullest ripestness, which means that it can turn completely the color it's supposed to be, whether that was red or orange or green or whatever color. You just want to make sure it's at its peak ripeness, and then save the seeds same way. Pull out the seeds. You know, it's going to be in that gelling casing. Put it in water. Let it ferment for 3 days, and then drain it. And the seeds at the top is no good. The seeds at the bottom is what you save. Put it on the napkin, let it dry, and then you can save the seeds from it. And that's what I've been doing to save seeds. I do just want to throw it out there. I've said it before in another video, that you can save seeds from hybrid tomatoes, but there's no guarantee that what you get will be the same thing that you plant next year, because it is a cross between two plants and it's not stabilized. I have a yellow watermelon. It was called a baby doll yellow watermelon. And so for watermelons, the seeds are really easy. You just pop them out, lay them flat on a napkin or something, and let them dry. I'm saving seeds from that, but next year when I replant that, it can not be a yellow watermelon. It could be, or it cannot be baby doll. It could be a giant yellow watermelon, like whatever it was crossed with, the two parent plants crossed with to make that yellow baby doll watermelon. I save seeds from it, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to get the same yellow baby doll watermelon, because it's not stabilized, which means that it hasn't had enough time to keep producing the same watermelon. But I feel confident in experimenting in my garden that I just wouldn't save seeds from like a watermelon that was sitting right next to a cantaloupe, because I don't want, next to a cucumber, because I don't want another watermelon that tastes like a cucumber. But as far as what, two watermelons next to each other and cross-pollinating, I don't mind, or two cantaloupes sitting next to each other, or two even tomatoes next to each other, I don't mind about saving seeds from things like that, because I was still, as long as I still get a tomato from a tomato seed, or if I still get a watermelon from a watermelon, or a cantaloupe from a cantaloupe, then I'm fine with that. I do hope that this video was helpful and that you guys understood the instructions. If you guys have any other comments on how to save seeds, just leave a comment down below and I will be sure to answer those comments. Thanks.